This is your daily market review for Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great day. Talk about in the Discord room, a little bit of a roller coaster. Keep in mind we have the Micron earnings. We will talk about them now. Got some financial bank information coming after the close at 4:30. Yeah, Fed stress test results are in. Hopefully by the end of this video, might have a little bit of results. If not, just keep an eye on it. Again, we've anticipated that. Again, it's like a fake test, right? Do they really ever fail stress tests? No, they don't want to scare people. And if they did, at this point, I think they would be causing their own problems going into election. So I don't think they're going to do that. So what do we know going into the rest of the week? Well, you got durable orders, GDP tomorrow. You got some personal income, PCE, spending, Chicago PMI on Friday. As I thought, going into the end of the quarter, end of the month, this is where the rubber meets the road. We will see probably the continuation, in my opinion, either direction. I'm expecting down. A lot of people are expecting up. Again, introspective names can act their own way. Certain names up, certain names down. But I'm curious to see if the market ends up melting down in time. Because again, the Feds are stuck. All right, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room. Links description below. Please follow on the Twitter. Posting all sorts of trades today, all the things that we're seeing what's going on. Again, the market is not easy. The economy is not the market always, but just be careful. Just be careful. If you want to chat, hit me up. Use the link for the Calendly. And let's connect. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, need help with trading, need help with anything finance related, want to build a connection, let's chat. Again, I always tell people, worst case scenario is that you learn something. If you're new, check out the website, tradingagent.com. I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations, get your recommended reading. I mean, it's not rocket science. Bookmark this for all the tweets, all the YouTube videos, everything that's going on. Because again, posting some real estate videos as well. And hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. If you hit the like and comment, that means the world to me, literally the world to me, because again, it helps the algorithm. And if you're supporting the channel, I appreciate you. Leave a shout out, holler. All right, so we know going into, I mean, obviously, I just like to refresh this constantly. We know there's nothing really expected next meeting. The next potential cut, there was going to be one next, being the first, not till September. And again, if they're cutting, be curious, be nervous. Bitcoin, chopping here around 60,000. As we talked about, this looks like a big choppy range. I don't trust commodities until the Feds pivot. If you're a Bitcoin holder, you best believe you got to hold this. You better hold it. Oil, as we talked about, oversold, bounce, chopping around. I long term don't have much, I don't know, belief in the downside other than when it does drop, right? There'll be a put under it essentially, right? Because we have to refill the SPR. Keep that in mind. Natural gas, as we talk about, I love natural gas long term. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But looking for lower prices in time. Again, we not necessarily shorting it, but again, if you played it from down here, expect it to just chop around for a little bit, right? Going into seasonality time, like it's going to be quiet. Dollar, we talked about holding up in the world of turds, which is in the toilet of currencies, currency toilet. The dollar is the turd that floats the best. TLT. Here we go, right? Interesting action today. Finally got below it and gapped down. We going higher rates or just a backfill, just like profit taking? Because again, for I guess the quarter, we're basically flat. I have a feeling we might just hold around 91, 92. The VIX, I mean, it's pretty impressive the damage they're doing here. Meaning just knocking everybody out all over the place. The VIX looks, holding up pretty well. We talked about the bottoms first. So far, so good. SPY rallied into the close. Again, holding this 540 area. Keep an eye on it. Nothing really to say. I mean, again, end of the quarter, choppiness. Again, I think this marks the top near term at worst. I don't know why we wouldn't come back to the 20-day at some point. It's just sooner than later. Q. Again, top is in, 8-10-day holding around. I mean, could we come back to the top? It's always possible, but keep it in mind. 20-day seems very likely at some point. IWM, again, because evidence is that IWM's lagging. Right? It just continues. DIA, which had been leading, lagging again. Right? So if you have any questions, again, like about the market and the indexes, do yourself a favor. Just check it out. Check it out, right? Dia, we talked about this, been leading up and chopping around. I apologize. Gold, don't trust it. Today's gap down. Ooh, I mean, again, you've got to hold this area down here. You've got to, and if not, again, seasonality wise, metals usually do pretty well in July, but just making new lows going into the quarter. So again, this could be a near-term bottom forming in some of these names, or it could be, I'm just kind of flashing through these, or it could be just the start of more pain. So again, if gold struggles in the late summer, then the fall usually can be a very good buying opportunity. Just keep an eye on AEM, and that would be the time when the Feds potentially pivot. All these names have just been drug around. Newmont, can't trust it. Can't trust it. Pass. Just pass on that. Just pass on that. Man, look at this stuff, right? If you bought the dust again, I like to just look at this sometimes and go, Dustin. You bossed it down here. You're feeling all right, but it's not like the best trade in the world. So just be careful. Meaning, like, is it worth it? You may have stopped out or you took your profit and you moved on. You know what? I wouldn't blame you. Good old Taiwan semi again. I don't trust this thing for a year or at all. Talk about being the top. Here you go, chopping around. Keep an eye on this again after hour. Micron's results back at the 170 level. Not really much for this stock today. Good old. Yeah, here's where the rubber meets the road, right? Micron is at 132 after hours. Right back into this zone. Right in the zone, auto zone. Come on, let me stretch that out. Yep. I mean, I guess you could draw it in here. Watch this area, because this is the first support. We talked about the top being in. Just thinking I'm watching. Just keep an eye on it. AM Dizzle, we talked about this being, no, not so good. After hours at 156. I mean, this thing looks like it's just basing to get burned. A lot of people are very bullish on AMD. I personally have nothing on it. Like, meaning, like, no, I'm sorry. I think you're kind of being silly if you think it's worth buying here. Again, long term. Everyone's always rationalizing long term. NVIDIA, we talked about today, posted this. Watch the 8-10 day, this blue zone. If you shorted it, bought some NVDS. So far, so good. Just keep an eye on it. SMCI, again, nice tradable stock. Some of the homies trading it. Look at this little trap down here. Again, it's hard to trade it, between ranges. But if you do, I mean, I always tell people, like, just tighten it up. Tighten it real up, I mean, whatever your risk profile is, times it, divide it by 2, divide it by 3, and it's like, all right, could it come back? Could it drop? Again, this thing has some big green candles and red candles after consolidation, so it's worth watching. Intel, again, I don't know why anyone would be buying this name. Just yawn. SMH held the 20-day, right? Chopping so far, 3-day range, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Keep an eye on it. Adobe, again, I like the short on this, but waiting. Either the 200-day or the 100-day breaks. In between, no love. Apple, talked about this today. Saying, watch this level. Look at it where it closed. What a sneaky little fudge. Fills the gap, right? Yeah, thought I was going to say fucker, right? Fills the gap, and look where it closes. Worth a watch. Again, traps. I mean, in my opinion, Amazon, some of the homies, again, Jay Solstice, big time, talking about this. Again, the call options, and I know they're going into Prime Day. Again, during the summer, not much going on, so of course people will pile in. I mean, maybe 200 handle. Keep an eye on it. Again, if you bought this, roll up your stops. I can will. I mean, beware. If again, it could go. I mean, worst case scenario, if it really is going to go up higher into the Prime Day, the best thing the worst thing you might see if you're long it is just a chop around before it builds again. And that's where if you're trading around the calls, like some of the homies are, right? You buy calls, it rips, take some profit, watch for some pullback, see if the call action comes in again, buy it again, do it all over. And again, trading around it. Meta coming into resistance, watch CRM, talk about this gapping down, being oversold, chopping around, not much. Guggenheim breaks out. And this is where kind of like you might expect with like Amazon, just, all right, see what happens, chop, chop. Microsoft retesting the highs, actually making new highs. Again, these are names I would not be shorting. NDAQ, I would be on any major pop. I think the NASDAQ exchange is cooked. MicroStrategy, this is a Bitcoin proxy, as we talked about. This one is, again, between ranges. This one is tough. Your guess is as good as mine near term. I mean, you can see like there's a little, again, if you go to the hourly, you can see that, and then here it is. Tough to know. Again, what's your fancy with Bitcoin? That's your question. Netflix, man, this thing got kind of sold at the end of the day. I mean, it's holding up. Again, not a name I would probably press short and watch it all. Roblox, chopping around. PANW, again, I like this stock. Is it going to break out? I mean, it's just playing games with my hunt. I don't know who that is. That NSYNC or one of those boy bands. It's an interesting area because, again, it could, in the end of the quarter, new fund flow could push this up into the 330s, 340s. I mean, zero doubt in my mind that if somebody wanted to push this with light volume, you could get that right up there real quick. Tesla holding up again, short covering, squeeze. Looks pretty good. Again, we've talked about the trade was to buy the 100-day once it got over it. Near term, not surprised. Again, go watch the video, said 200-day, 200 level, somewhere around there. Not a bad trade if you're long it. Inside, again, I like this stock on pullbacks. I think they're showing signs of somebody's buying down here. It's just let it play out. Be patient. McDonald's, Barron's upgraded today. That's kind of the kiss of death. At some point, I think it will break the 240s. DKNG, again, if you shorted that pop, high five to you. Good trade. Now back at the 200-day. Maybe a little oversold near term, end of the quarter. Maybe some new money comes in. Just keep an eye on it. Airbnb, Bizzle, watching the 50-day. Nothing really saying on there. Costco holding up pretty well. End of the quarter. Starbucks, we talked about the 50-day just being nothing on this. Again, it's a turd. FedEx, okay, so it pops on earnings. Again, the earnings weren't even that great. Again, I took a little short here, gave it a dollar stop, and I got stopped out. Again, I'll be watching this one because I personally, personally believe, it's in a probability game. There's no certainty that this makes sense, right? It makes sense. Keep an eye on it because in my mind, that's what I was watching. I don't know why I didn't draw it. Like, there's multiple trends here. I don't know why I didn't save. I apologize. I'm just drawing on the fly. Just be watching this again because I figured if it popped and gave it up, let's see what happens. And this is the thing. If you always think you're going to win, you were silly. Caterpillar, chopping around. Not much. I mean, I saw it was Cummins engine letting off more, firing more people. Be careful. Nucor, we talked about this. If you were going to short it, you needed to break the lows. Held it so far. Said watch X because, again, X seems to be kind of a choppy mofo. And look at that thing. Again, there was buyers down here. Again, I don't know if I'd be shorting materials. That's just me personally. VALE. Thing is, the risk reward makes sense down here. I just can't touch it. Arrow. Again, I like copper long term. I like this name longer term. I just want to see it on see weakness. CCJ, it's really, 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 really hard to buy when Goldman upgrades the highs. I know what they do to these names. And they probably are buying it in the teens, and now they're telling their clients to buy it. Then they'll pull back, and they'll pull back at the 30s or 40s, and then they'll buy stock back. It's a mean game, those guys. Morgan Stanley, CF, Mosaic, all these names. I mean, I love ag names long term. But near term, just kind of letting them play the game. Be careful, though. Aaron, here you go. We talked about aluminum. I mean, I really like aluminum a lot long term. I mean, it's going to go into everything. Aluminum, copper, silver, gold, uranium, materials. That's the winner long term. I just think you got to wait again for the Feds to pivot. Ten cuidado. Keep an eye on it. XLF, again, we're going into the, is it 4? No, it's not the time yet. We got the stress test. Talked about the 100-day. I mean, look at it. Like, on the dime. If you traded this today, nice work. Keep an eye on it. JP Morgan, if Jamie Dimon's not buying stock up here, I don't know why you would be. That's just my opinion. Morgan Stanley Morgan chopping around after peaking. Bank of America. This one looks interesting for a short. This one looks interesting, right? This little gap down. Somebody knows something. We'll see what happens. Again, I apologize if this is after stress test. Goldman Sachs, again, if you got your Marcus account, Marcus, I mean, they're not going out of business. Carry. I mean, this thing has been lagging perpetually. Perpetual laggard. XBI, we've talked about this is a risk-on name. People are like, got to do something. I'm like, some of these names just show, just to watch. And again, I know it's not sexy, it's exciting, but it's worth going through all the stocks. XHB, we're like, watch the 100 level. Home builders, lower highs, lower lows coming. This stuff is really important. Again, even if you're not trading, I tell people, you got to watch the markets. The market, do not look at it in a vacuum. Meaning just look at one stock. Solar, what a crap. I mean, I thought yesterday might be the day to take profits on Sedge if you're short from the 300 level. This thing has just been turd. I mean, it's probably going to get removed from the watch list soon. ENPH again, following the herd. First Solar, if you did short this one, congrats. But we filled the gap. Keep an eye on it now. I mean, it could be. I mean, you go from 307 down to 240 and a quarter. It could catch some momentum or chop around. I mean, again, if you're short from the highs, trade around. If you need help, leave a comment below. We can talk about what to do. HYG, again, corporate debt. You got to be high to your mind to be buying this stuff. Oil, overbought near term, right? UNG. Again, I hate UNG. I think it's a crappy product for natural gas. Again, when natural gas goes down, let the cold pop, then short it. I mean, this thing is decaying. It's going to be in your favor. XOP, we talked about catching a little bid yesterday. No follow through. No follow through. CVE, again, this one's been one of our favorites. It's got to digest, in my opinion. ExxonMobil, talked about this one, blowing out the range lows, hitting the 200-day, rallying back, stuck here probably. Valero, we talked about oil and gas names, just chopping around. MPC, chop, 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 chop. Occidental, again, Buffett is just selling them calls, selling them puts, y'all. He's got no rush. He's buying as much stock as he can. And people get so excited, like, oh, I got to buy it today. I'm like, Buffett doesn't work like that. EQT, same kind of thing. Again, I like natural gas a lot long term. And then natural gas exporter flex LNG. I do believe in this one. We've talked about this one very clearly. I think we'll be natural gas exporters. Again, 11% dividend. Let it play out. Let it come in. Congress is buying. Probably the next. I mean, you probably won't see the big move until when? Post-election. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I appreciate a love, support, donations. You guys are the best. I really appreciate it. Let me know how I can help you out. Do not hesitate. Do not be shy. Let me know what you need. Because if you're having problems, having questions, thoughts, you want to shoot the shiznit, that's what I'm here for. Again, I love interacting with all my clients, all my friends. I mean, this is the thing. This is what we do. Iron sharpens iron. Let me know how I can help. Talk to you guys and gals later. Peace.